Hi, it's Leanne, and I'm here today with a review of the 10th book from my Man Booker Longlist read along of this year. That is Normal People by Sally Rooney. So, Normal People has been one of the most hyped books on the longlist this year, but to the surprise of many, it didn't actually make the shortlist. In my opinion, it should have, but I have theories about why it didn't, and I'll get to those at the end. So, first of all, just a little about the book. So, the story of Normal People is told alternately by two characters, Marianne and Connell. They are from a small town in Ireland. Connell lives on a council estate, Marianne lives in a mansion. Connell is one of the popular kids at school, Marianne definitely is not. But Connell's mother works as a cleaner for Marianne, and through that they become acquainted and they end up building a very strong relationship. So this book follows this relationship as they go through the final year of school, as they leave school and both start Trinity College in Dublin, where their social positions very much change. It is very much, it's a romance book. I'm going to link to a video by Claire Reads Books, which explains this absolutely perfectly, the romance tropes that this book follows. But it is so much more than just your bog standard romance. It is beautiful, it's subtle, it is emotional, it's involving, it is relatable, it breaks your heart at times, yet it's also very life affirming. It's not just probably the best book that I've read from this year's Man Booker, but one of the best books that I've read this year. It looks at what people can give each other, and the potential in this balance for both damage and healing. It explores so many different parallels, so many, power and submission, strength and weakness, intimacy and human contact. It does all this within the constant constructs of gender and class. They are always there, bubbling away in the background. And amongst this, the performances that we give, because of our class, because of our gender, or for whatever reasons, for whatever construct society has placed on us, what impact these social constructs have on our psyche and how we work through that individually and with other people. So it's a romance, but it is a really complex and beautiful romance. And it also, one of my favourite things about it was how it looked at the romance that we often find in stereotypical romance books, the boy meets girl and the happy ending and everything like that. And it explores whether the kind of love that is fictionalized in books like this is really healthy, and what is going on in people's backgrounds and the way that they've been treated before the story of the book begins, and how much of an impact that has on just the traditional fairy tale romance. It reminded me in a lot of ways of One Day by David Nichols, but without the gimmicks and the complete emotional manipulation that was in that book. It's just so much more of a subtle and fascinating book. I read it in 2 sittings. I mean, it's not a very long book, it's about 280 pages, but I just powered through it and I was really quite distraught to finish it at the end. I was not ready to leave these characters. I would have happily continued for another 280 pages. So it's a lovely book. Why didn't it make the shortlist? I can only imagine my main theory is, as I said in the last video about Warlight by Michael Ondaatje, his was a very traditional story, and this was also quite traditional in that as much as so much was packed into this, it was told in not not bad language. It was very elegantly written, but it wasn't told in a particularly exciting way, such as The Long Take by Robin Robertson, for example, which I'm going to review next, which is written very much for the most part, in free verse. It's a story that is told in a traditional way, but it's and I think the long list, the short list this year and the long list has very much pushed boundaries. A lot of the books themselves have been about boundaries and borders, and I think that the judges have looked for this in their listings as well. And Michael Ondaatje and Sally Rooney just didn't meet that boundary pushing level that they were hoping for, which isn't to say that they're not brilliant reads, just that it wasn't the right year for them. And also, same for Ondaatje, Sally Rooney does not need the shortlisting. We have authors such as Anna Burns, such as Daisy Johnson, who are little known or debut authors who have been longlisted, and Sally Rooney, everybody's talking about this book. Ondaatje won the Golden Booker this year. He doesn't need this shortlisting, and I think that's gone against Sally Rooney. Like I say, she doesn't need it. I have no doubt that in a few years she will write, not that this book isn't great, but that she will write something that is so completely incredible that it will win the Booker Prize. She doesn't need it now. She will get there at some point. But yeah, this is just so recommended for absolutely everybody. It is just a gorgeous book, and I'm so happy I finally got to read it. It felt like it took so long to get here, and I'd been hearing so many good things, and I'm so happy it lived up to the expectations that I'd set on it. As I said, my next review will be of The Long Take by Robin Robertson. I am nearly there. I am still waiting for 2 books from the library, but they are on their way, and I should have them, I would hope so, before the winner is announced, so I will hopefully get in there, and then at least I'll be able to say how my shortlist might have differed from the judges. We already know normal people would have been in my shortlist, so there will definitely be a difference. So I'll be back in a few days with The Long Take, and until then, happy reading. Bye bye.